Now we come to the exciting part of this TV show, which is Sabrina doing live processing, which essentially is her running acoustic instruments through a computer program called MainStage. Actually, it is a really cool thing, but not when she's doing it.
I'm here today to show you how to use the program MainStage to do live processing on an acoustic instrument. To help me with this, I brought in my lovely friends Dominique Forster, who's going to play violin for us, and Nathaniel Taylor, who will be playing piano. The interface in MainStage is actually very similar to the one in Logic. You've got your channel strips, MIDI instruments, and your plugins. Now, you all know how analog and digital effects units work, and the setup we've got in MainStage is basically built on those devices. We can load up plugins that are designed to look like the real thing in MainStage. On the left, you've got a reverb unit, and on the right, you can see a delay unit. Faders and knobs of the effects and channel strips that I use often in my performances, I have put into this black working space in the middle, and then I assign it to my MIDI keyboard. So now if I increase the level of a fader or knob on my MIDI keyboard, you will actually be able to see it on the screen. I want to show you some easy effects today, so we're going to start with reverb and delay. And the phrase we're going to be playing around with today is this one. Now, to hear that phrase with reverb, all I have to do is turn up the knob that I assigned to Dominique's reverb, and it's going to sound even more beautiful. And the same with delay. Now, this is the same phrase again with delay, but one of the notes in the delay is pitch shifted. So listen out for that one. Now, we're going to perform the entire piece for you, just to show you what it sounds like to mix all those elements into a live performance. You really can use the reverb, the delay, and the volume faders to just mix it up, improvise, and just have fun with it.
Hat der alte Hexenmeister sich doch einmal weggegeben. Und nun sollen seine Geister auch nach meinem Willen leben.
I really think I've proven Chris wrong. That was quite exciting stuff. And I do hope that I've encouraged some of you out there to go and try live processing yourself.
Oh, like I said, it's actually quite an exciting thing, just not when she's doing it.
Our guest tonight is one of the most exciting emerging artists in Australia at the moment. He has sung in places like the Sydney Opera House, Bennett's Lane in Melbourne, the Melbourne International Jazz Festival, and his approach to singing is quite unique. He uses a lot of contemporary jazz, improvisation, extended vocal techniques, and some lovely live processing. Our interview tonight is with Tom Barton. just seen some excerpts of the video that you recorded doing Hyperballad by Björk. Now, what exactly are you doing there, Tom, and what effects are you using?
Well, the idea behind it is to create all the parts with the voice. So I have to think about the harmony of the song and thinking about how I can kind of create those structures with a minimal amount of singing. You know, like I can't sing multiple notes at once, so it's a matter of layering things up and thinking ahead to different sections of the song and how I can kind of tie them together, so it's not all the one big sort of one big loop at once.
Well, I'm sure that took a lot of preparation.
Yeah, it was actually a lot. Yeah, part of it is learning to use the equipment, and yeah, the transitional parts. You know, like I had 2 separate loops for that. So the first one was basically like a 3-note bass movement in the verse, and then there was a chorus with a different harmony. So I sort of had to set up the harmony in the chorus first, and then come back and do the verse, so that then when I finished with the verse, I could go straight through the chorus, and it would seem seamless. There wouldn't be this big pause while I suddenly had to go back to one and make this chorus happen.
How many different effects units are you using in the performance, and what are they?
Really, relatively, there aren't that many because I've just got a reverb unit, and there's a delay unit, and there's also like a bass octave pedal, which just sort of takes the voice down 1 or 2 octaves, and then the looping machine. So there's a lot of equipment there, but it's actually broken up into those categories. There's not a lot of options, which is nice, because I've consciously forced myself to get the bare essentials and then ignore the gear lust and I've got to get something more.
Which one of the effects units that you used is your favourite piece of gear?
Probably the looping unit. It's a Gibson Echoplex Digital Pro Plus, which was, I think this was made in 1991. I got it on eBay over from America, and it's really old-fashioned in that it's got about 8 banks of buttons and 8 buttons and 8 banks of settings, so it's like a huge combination. Each one of those has 4 or 5 different settings within them.
I've heard you use live processing in a range of settings, one of them being a jazz standard. Now, how do you connect live processing with a jazz standard?
Yeah, so that's probably trying to marry my influences of the jazz study and also the electronic music I grew up listening to, or stuff like Björk, Radiohead, that kind of thing. And an artist in New York who's my biggest influence with that, Theo Bleckmann, has got this amazing ability to bring vocal looping, which can be a very sort of closed off thing in terms of it's a self-sustained thing, blending that into a band setting and back again seamlessly.
You actually had the opportunity to go and study with Theo Bleckmann. How did that happen?
Well, I applied for a skills and development grant from the Australia Council, and I was lucky enough to get funded to go over and study, take some lessons with Theo basically, and go watch a whole bunch of gigs and of his and a lot of other people's.
What are your current projects, and do you use live processing in your original music at all?
Yeah, definitely. I've been working on solo sets, because that's something that's really challenging to kind of craft a full set of stuff that it stays interesting and fresh and that kind of thing. And I'm also working on recording an album this year of music that will incorporate the looping, but also alongside a traditional sort of acoustic band setting.
Thanks for doing the interview with us, Tom. It was really fun seeing you again after so long.
Yeah, no problem.
I wish you all the best with your album, and hope you let us know once something happens.
I will definitely. Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you.